Hey guys, how you doing? This is Keon Corneff, also known as Mr. Finance, your favorite financial literacy educator. So, as you can see, the topic that I'm talking about today is protect your energy and embrace your imperfections, right? As you guys know, I'm the king of talking about embracing imperfections, but give me a second here. Let me tag the homies, all right? Let's tag the homies. Let's bring the homies in the conversations, right? We can't have a great talk without having the homies involved, right? We gotta make sure that all the homies are involved and they know it's happening. All right, so like I always talked about, you guys know I always talk about embracing your imperfections, all right? Because they mean that I'm perfection, and all you gotta do to continue winning is by understanding such things. So, hey Swan, glad to have you on. Welcome on. All right. So, how can we embrace our imperfections, right? And better yet, how can we protect our energy? Now, everything that I teach you guys is based off life experience and understanding and some of the things that I've come across, right? And I've learned over the years about some of the mistakes that I've made and some of the great things that I've done to really touch on these topics. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about is the idea of protecting your energy. And protecting your energy is so important in everything you do. Either it's personal or business. Your energy is such an important thing because in life, you have what we call life. And many of us try to understand this thing called life, and we sometimes get confused, mixed up, or misconstrued, and these things can have lifetime effect on us. You may not be affected immediately, but eventually you will. And by the time you find out, you may be in sometimes a dark place, or maybe sometimes you'll be in a great place, depending on how it affects you or what you learned from it and how quickly could you learn from it or detect it, right? I've always learned that in life, from now, right? Now that I understand how to detect things, I've always learned how to protect my energy, right? I got to protect my energy, my essence, my ability to cope, to move forward, right? Because if you're someone that a lot of people gravitate to, right? You could gravitate and start being influenced by other people's energy, and that can have lifetime effect on you, right? So one of the things that I encourage people to do is to learn how to protect your energy. Now, in my earlier days when I first started, now I know how to, I could deal with people sharing what they're going through, sharing how they're facing different challenges. I can deal with that now because I know what to do right after I have that conversation to release it and not absorb it. Because remember, they said that the messenger come and go, but the message remain, because what you heard, what you see, what you know, it always be right here. So how do you control here and not let it absorb you is very important skill to learn. So and I'm going to share that with you today. The next thing that we're going to touch on today, we're going to touch on embracing your imperfections, right? Because I grew up on the saying where they said that those who live in glass house should not cast the first stone, right? So if you live in a glass house, you should not cast any stones, because if someone throw a stone at your glass house, it's going to break. All right, just that's the terminology. So my thing is, until you are perfect, until you are the ideal, or you think you're perfect, but until you're perfect in God's eyes, you cannot cast nor judge anybody, right? And that's also important. We're going to talk about the effect of that as well. So this is not going to be a long talk. It's going to be a very quick one. And I think it's a very important one to have. Because if you're in the line of business or entrepreneurship, or you're in the people business, or if you have family members, if you have that uncle or ex or somebody, whatever, that just really left a bad taste or a bad feeling or whatever of discomfort that you're going through, this is something that you want to tag that person or send it to them so that way they can listen to this. Because I tell you, a lot of the things that I'm going to share with you is based off what I've actually come to understand and experience, and I've now implemented it in my life, and it really helped me a lot. So one of the things I'm going to first start with, let's start with protecting your energy. Now, there's a lot of people out there that have friends that will come to you and share with them about, or they confide in you. All right, you have friends that will confide in you. They'll come and share with you what's going on, either their personal, family, or business. And you are that person because you just always give good feedbacks. You are a great listener. You always just give them a positive vibes, and you're the person that they want to talk to and confide in. So now, because you are this person, you get multiple people with multiple challenges, multiple obstacles that people are going through, and you're dealing with your own. Right? That's the crazy part, that you're dealing with your own, and on top of that, you're trying to help others with their own as well. And then sometimes you may feel overburdened or overwhelmed because you're like, damn, I'm helping everybody with their problem, but who's helping me? Right? It's almost like you hear the saying that who motivates the motivator, right? And you got to think about it like from that perspective. Who motivates the motivator? And sometimes you hear people say the motivator, right? But not in a sense. Sometimes the motivator needs a motivator too. Right? That's why they say every great mentor needs a mentor. Every great trainer needs a trainer. Every great leader needs a leader. Right? Because no matter what, you're always going to need somebody there to guide you and protect you and influence you in the right direction that you're going to. So it's the same thing when it comes to protecting your energy. Now, the thing that you may not have in some sense, or in most cases, that when you are that person that everybody run to, flock to confide in, or look for advice from, or they share their problem with you, like I said, you give them the solutions, the resolutions, but what stays? What stays is the message. That is inside of you. That is building inside of you. And you may not detect it or notice it early that this may have a lasting effect on you. So what I'm going to teach you today is what you do when the message is received, it's conceived, but how can you make it leave? Okay? And I'm going to teach you this so that way you could not be stuck with that. You know, I just got off the phone. I had a great wasn't such a great conversation with this person. And I was sitting here to myself. I was like, man, this person sounds like such a lost soul, right? It's such a dark place. They sound like they're talking positively, but they're in a dark place. And then you feel that vibe, and then you want to touch on it a little bit. So now you feel like, wow, how when you hang up the phone, then you're like, okay, the message stayed, but the messenger left. You ended it. You stop talking. You end the conversation, right? And then you're thinking to yourself like, all right, you still dwell on the conversation. And now you're stuck with the message. So what I did was I realized, like, anytime I have any conversation with somebody that's going through anything in their life, right? Good or bad, this is what you must do. You ready? Any conversation that you have with somebody, good or bad, and if you feel that the message still remained, good or bad, take out your goals, or write down 10 things that you're thankful for. I kid you not. Immediately, I felt amazing. I went back to what I was doing. I felt great. And I tell you guys, every time I come across things like this, I share with you because it is so powerful. It is so powerful for this information, so that way you can now incorporate this in your daily living, in your daily lifestyle, so that way you can learn it. So that's how you protect your energy. So the way you protect your energy after having a conversation with somebody that you just, man, you felt their energy still was with you, good or bad, take out your goals and read your thank you goals, right? He said, thank you for this, thank you for that, thank you for that. And let me tell you, or you write down 10 things you're thankful for and read it twice. And immediately you feel amazing. Or just have 10 things that you're thankful for at all time, right? Even if you have it or it's something that you want to obtain or gain possession of, have it with you and you write it down, you read it every time after you have a conversation that you don't like, right? Or if you have a conversation that you did like, read it, right? Because something is happening. what you're doing is that you're speaking greatness in someone's weakness. And what you're doing is embracing where you're trying to go and where you're trying to be in life, right? So the next thing that you got to do also is how to embrace your imperfections. Now, me, personally, I don't like to judge anybody, regardless of who you are. I don't like to cast judgment on people, right? Because I am not God, and the Bible says thou shalt not judge. And until one lives a perfect life, you cannot judge anybody, all right? And there's no such thing as a perfect life, because what is perfection? What is the perfection? If you ask 1 million people what does perfection mean to them, you would get 1 million, probably a million, or probably a few different versions of what perfection is, right? Because I think perfection is really an opinion of someone's view or someone's opinion on what they think something should be. So I don't believe in the word perfection. It's a made-up word. It's an ideology of someone trying to control someone's physical being. And I think it's not the right thing to do. So me personally, I don't tell people to be perfect. I say embrace your imperfections. I encourage people to embrace their imperfections, because your imperfection is what makes you who you are, regardless if you're good or bad. If you're a good person, I'm pretty sure you have some bad things about you too. If you're a bad person, I'm pretty sure you have some good things about you. So the thing is that we just got to embrace our imperfection. And what one person could do is, I would encourage them to say, hey, keep fighting to be the best version of yourself. Keep fighting to be the best version of yourself. Keep fighting to be the best version of yourself. Right? Whatever that best version of yourself is, you determine that. Not for me to tell you what your best version of yourself is. So you just got to see where you want to be in life, where you want to go in life, and embrace that. If you made some mistakes along the way, man, it's okay. It's okay. All right? I'm pretty sure your mistakes is not going to, as long as your mistakes didn't hurt somebody, and if it did hurt somebody, just be man enough or woman enough to say, hey, my apology if I hurt you. Right? I've always spent more time. All right, check this out. I'd rather spend more time apologizing multiple times than go on living a life acting as if I made no mistakes. Even when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Even when I'm right. And if it makes you feel wrong, I'm wrong. Right? And someone would look at me and say, well, wait, Keon. So you're telling me if someone was to say that they did something wrong and I told them that they were wrong, I'm wrong for doing that? Yes. Yes. You know why? Who are you to judge? Who are you to judge that person? I've made that mistake many times. Because you know what I realized? People look at mistake like this negative thing to make mistakes. People make mistakes and failure seem like it's this negative thing to experience in your life. Mistakes and failures is the greatest part of being successful. I've made many mistakes in my personal and business. Are you kidding me? Those mistakes is what made me the way I am today, because it made me smarter, stronger, and it gave me a lot more understanding. Trial and error. That's what they call it, try and error, right? Trial and error. Try and error. You gotta try something, make some error, so that way you can understand something. And the more you do this, is the better understanding experience you receive. And remember, wisdom is not what you just know, but wisdom is also what you know through experience and understand through thoughts. So my thing is, there's a lot of people that are very knowledgeable, but they don't have wisdom. I'm 31 years old. You're looking at a guy that went from the streets, or better yet, let's start from my beginning of my life. I went from a good kid, experienced a very hard time in my life, went down a road of bad things, then eventually found purpose. Purpose then led me to find an opportunity with this company that I'm with, and then that opportunity led me to want to become a better person. And during this process of trying to get to a better person, I've made many mistakes. And have it made me better, stronger, smarter? Absolutely. I'm not perfect. And I don't want to be perfect. Because I've learned that the word imperfection really means I'm perfection. It's just that someone was bad grammar. They forgot to put a space in between the I'm and perfection. So that's why they put it together and they said that you're imperfection. But I think whoever made up that word is an imperfect person, because I think that's a sign of insecurity. So I embrace it. And I want to encourage you to embrace it, but also protect your energy. So protect your energy by always remind yourself about gratitude. Because remember, oh man, gratitude plus attitude puts you in a whole new altitude. Remember that. I'm telling you. Gratitude plus attitude will put you in a new altitude. And you will go all the way to the top. Alright? So, I just want to share that with you guys. And I think it was just awesome to share this with you guys. So that way you could really hear this and embrace it and understand it. So that way you too could start winning in life. And like I said, I always tell you guys, the more I experience things, I'm going to share it a lot more. And I'm going to give a lot of more information, because I think as human beings, we were put on this earth to help each other. And it shouldn't be matter. They always say that you're never too old to learn and you're never too young to teach. And I just always feel like, man, I'm such a young guy with such an old man body, an old man thinking, right? And it's because of wisdom. And I must tell you, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy to come across some of these understanding that I've obtained in my life, because a lot of these mistakes that I've made is what gave me these experiences. And let me tell you, a lot of people will fail to see these things because of past experiences. That's why they say that never let your past block you from your future. Never judge a man on his past, judge a man on his future. Because let me tell you why. Because a lot of people said, no. You got to judge people based on their past. Wrong. The only way you judge a person on their past is if they never evolved the next day. But if someone is changing and evolving every day, and you see they make steps every day to change, my friend, that person may have made many mistakes in the past, but he will then one day become the perfect person, because you know why? Trial and error. Remember that. Trial and error is success. Success is just the reward from the trial and the error. So don't aim to be successful. Aim to master trial and error. I make many mistakes, and I love it. I love being the child that makes a lot of mistakes, because I gain a lot of wisdom, a lot of understanding, a lot of knowledge. Now, you don't have to make mistakes to go through that. Yes, sometimes you can learn from others, but if you want to step out of that and make mistakes for your own and get your own experience, who am I to judge? Who am I to tell you no? Because you know what? It's two things will happen. It will either you learn from it, or you won't learn from it. And then again, the choice is yours. Right? So, I just want to share that message with you guys today. And I just want to remember to tell you that, hey, remember that you're awesome. You know, remember that you're strong. Remember that you're positive. Remember that you're brave. Remember that you are everything that you need to be. And then you let everybody, don't you ever let nobody tell you different. You are beautiful. You're smart. You're strong. You're wise. You're brave. You are unstoppable. Alright? Always remember that. Also remember that you are one decision away from changing your future for the better. So always remember, the choice is yours. Alright? So, thank you guys. I appreciate you. I love you guys. And have a wonderful day. And I'll see you guys at the top. Have a good one.